Hello. Welcome back to another episode on MegStories. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and leave a like. Let's get into the story now. My wife cheated on me with my brother and I don't know what to do. I, 25M, am married to my once wonderful wife, 25F, for 2 years. We have known each other for 7 years and been together for 5. We had a happy marriage, but it hasn't been without its ups and downs like every other marriage. My brother, 26M, has been living in California since he got into Stanford. After he graduated, he got a job there and he's been there ever since. He was here for a week for our mom and dad's wedding anniversary, and my birthday, which fall 3 days apart. I started feeling something was wrong 2 weeks before he'd arrived. My wife had been on a work trip to LA the week before and she had told me that she met my brother. I didn't find it weird as according to her they just had lunch and had caught up on each other's lives, and then went their separate ways. When she got back, she felt strange. She was distant, and keen on arguing over the most tiniest of things, for example, me buying a different soap than what she wanted. I apologized and ever offered to go and bought her a new bar, but she refused and said that I didn't care about her in the slightest and that I must have gone at it with 7 women in the 7 days that she was gone. She would smile and laugh while texting someone, and when I tried looking at her phone, wondering what the joke was, she'd scowl at me, calling me a freak who wanted to invade her privacy every chance I got. We were pretty pissed off at each other before the day we left to go to my parents' home. On the car ride there, we agreed to keep a show of happy cheerfulness as was expected from us by our family. We got there at around 12:30. I had to rush to the airport to pick up my brother as he landed at 1 and my parents' home was 45 minutes away from the airport. He was waiting for me at the gate. We chatted all the way home when the topic of my wife came up. He seemed suddenly a bit down, as if he was overcome with guilt. I sensed something was wrong so I asked him. He brushed me off and he remained cheerful the rest of the ride back. Week went as was planned. Me and my wife kept up the pretense of being cheerful while we argued in whispers at night. I knew at this point that she had cheated on me while she was gone as I have faced that in a relationship before. Little did I know who it was with. The day of my brother's departure arrived. He had to get to the airport an hour early, so we left at around 4:30. As we were halfway there, he did that he needed to talk to me about something. He said it was about my wife. I asked him what it was. He asked me to pull over first, which I did. He told me that during the week that she was in California, they had slept together. Aha! So she was texting her all the time. It was because of him that we were having the arguments. I almost punched him in the face. But I didn't. I needed to hear more. I think he saw the red in my eyes and he said that it was just a mistake. He planned on telling me the moment he got here but he couldn't. He loved me too much. If he loved me, he wouldn't have done this. I told him to get the fuck out of my car and find himself a cab. He was dead to me. I drove to my best friend's house. I explained everything to him and asked him if I could stay with him for the night. He said yes, and I texted my mom saying as I won't be there tonight as a friend needed me. I think my brother told my wife that I know as she's been bombing my phone with texts and calls. Some of the texts read, "Where are you? Come home please, I really miss you. I need to talk to you now. Come home." I just turned off my phone and I'm writing this now. So now, I look to you, strangers of Reddit. Please tell me, what do I do? Do I confront her? Do I file for divorce? TLDR, wife cheats with my brother feels guilty and tells me, I don't know what to do. Now for the next story. My 26M girlfriend, 25F, cheated on me 3 years ago. Should I forgive her? Or should I end it? So as title says, my 26M girlfriend, 25F, cheated on me 3 years ago at the start of our relationship. We were just starting to see each other, and we're both working in the same industry, so there was a large weekend event coming up, where a lot of companies from the industry meet for a football tournament. We had just agreed 1 to 2 days prior to be exclusive / in a relationship. At the event she blew me off and ignored me every chance she got. She hung out and drank with some guy that she had just met, and she was very flirty with him. The first night she sat with him the whole night, and I even saw them compare hand sizes. I got extremely uncomfortable and told her to stop that, and go home with me right away. After some consideration, she did go home with me. The next day we spent the entire morning / afternoon together, but come the evening she again spent time with this guy. I went up to her multiple times, and even introduced myself as her boyfriend to the guy, while he was holding his arm around her. We spent a bit of time together, but I could feel that she was not happy about it. She later hung out with the same guy and danced with him. I went up to her again and asked if there was something wrong, and she just told me that she wanted to spend some time with her colleagues to dance, which I respected, so I went to talk to some friends in the business. Later I tried to call her, but a colleague of hers, which I was good friends with, told me she had left, and another one told me she had left with some guy. She ignored me the whole day after this, and told me later that it was because of her being so hungover. And she broke it off with me some days later. I convinced her to try again. She told that she needed some time as she had just gotten out of a long relationship and had dealt with a bad case of anorexia. We eventually got back together some days later, and we talked about what happened that weekend, and she basically told me that she had gotten too drunk and went home in a taxi, and another older guy had just walked her home, because of how drunk she was. And for some reason I believe this. Fast forward to yesterday, she messaged me that she had seen an old friend of mine, and just to abound any awkward situation she wanted to inform that they had matched on Tinder 7 years ago. Nothing happened there besides some texts. But my jealousy got the better of and we had a long argument, and I brought up the weekend 3 years ago, because of how bad it made me feel. In the argument, she said that nothing happened 7 years ago with my buddy. Which is fine, I didn't really care, we were not together back then, but I felt it was weird to share if nothing happened, so I pressed her, and we talked about the weekend 3 years ago again, due to the broken trust etc. from back then. However, this time the story didn't match the one she had told me previously. The guy that had walked her home had now changed to the younger guy that she had spent the entire night with. I got mad and told her to retell her story from that night, and suddenly more info changed. I pressed her again and she admitted that the younger guy and her had sex that night. She said she felt so bad afterwards, and that is why she broke up with me in the days after. However, back then she had not told me the real story, so I thought that she was telling the truth with her coming out of a long relationship and her anorexia eating away at her. I was so in love with her that I told her I would help her get past the illness, and we actually did. She is much better now, and we had spent 3 amazing years after this incident, and I truly love her, but I don't know if I can see past this, and the fact that she lied to me for 3 years. We had recently planned a long trip to Japan, which we are supposed to leave for in 3 weeks, and we had even been looking to buy a home together for the past months, and even talked babies, dogs etc. and when to get that, so we had some good years after, and she is really sweet, and all in all a completely changed person from back then. But I don't know if I can get past this. She really betrayed my trust, and disrespected me so badly by behaving that way. Some nights when I feel down I relive that weekend, and it totally destroys me. And now it has become worse when I know why she did everything she did. I need some advice, as I really love, or at least loved, her. So I don't know if I should break it off, or if we should try to move past it. Since nothing has happened like this since. Should I forgive her? Or should I end it? If you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more of it and support the channel, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications.